Law of
I'm
Assumption
going to teach you how to manifest
101.
an X back, like literally within 24 hours, provided you can mentally get there. And then I want you to come back to this video and tell me how fast it worked. I promised myself I was never going to make a video like this, but here we are. Like, the internet has spoken. What do I do? If you want to understand how to manifest someone back into your life, understand that it is possible through the law of assumption. If this is the first time you're hearing this terminology, this is something you can look up in Google. We have wonderful, American philosophers that have discussed this topic. We have individuals like Neville Goddard, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and so many more who have given us insightful teachings on what you assume to be true about yourself and about how the world works and how people show up for you will actually end up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, indicating to us that, and this is something you can look up, manifestation is also, in the Bible and in almost every major religious text known to man, that the power's actually always been within us. And to be able to dictate the amount of pleasant experiences we have in our lives, that we have actually been given more power by a higher power, by God, by the universe, however you want to put it, to be able to control how certain things happen in our lives. Now, the things that we have control over, according to the law of assumption, is our dominant experiences. So where this ties into manifesting an X back is this. All things stem from self. That has to be where you focus on first. So when it comes to manifesting an X-back and doing it lightning fast, like within 24 hours, you need to ask yourself, in the deterioration of the relationship, because obviously they're an X at this point in time, what exactly was the problem? Were you maybe insecure? Were you feeling unworthy or undeserving or not receptive or grateful for what was being given to you? Were you constantly questioning it and worrying if you were good enough and capable to hold it, and questioning and doubting him all the time? Did you have bad assumptions about men? Did you feel like at the end of the day, I've had too many abusive men for what this man is offering to be true? Associating with different types of poor dating culture standards and that type of situation. Basically asking yourself and reverse engineering the deterioration of this relationship to say, was this a me issue? Was I just too insecure and that's what led to the breakdown and caused him to get upset or caused her to get upset and run away? Or was this an issue with just how I see the world or how I see men or how I see women, that I had to self-sabotage this and push it away? Now, the way to actually control this person to be able to come back, I use the word control very loosely, but all you're really doing is using quantum physics to be able to align to a particular parallel reality where this person comes back and gives you the type of treatment that you want and has the epiphanies you want them to have. Now, the way to do this is to first understand and try to wrap your mind around. I know it's not going to be the most logical for a human mind to comprehend, but realizing in the law of assumption, what you assume to be true will be true. So once you figure out where your deficiency area is, whether it's one or both of those, you need to start working on those to make them your strengths. Now, in some individuals, they can just flip this switch overnight now that they know they have the ability to bring people back into their lives that they would like to have a second chance with. The problem with a lot of people trying to manifest back an X is they're trying to get the other person to have their own self-initiation epiphany moment, and then they're gonna, in some type of movie, have this realization and come back to you and all these other things, when, if we go back to law of assumption, there's no part of your actual brain that assumes that to be true. So even that is becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. You literally have no clue how bad your absence could be affecting this person, but for some reason, humans have this really weird thing where we just assume that when we break up or leave a relationship or whatever it may be, that the other person is lying in a hammock sipping a pina colada. At the end of the day, you need to have some respect for yourself and say that, you know what, I love deeply. I care deeply. I was very loyal, very honest, very kind, very caring. Maybe did I have my own set of mistakes? Yes, but I've learned from them and I want to have a second chance with this person, and there's nothing wrong with that. So understanding, breaking the habit of just fantasizing the worst case scenario is not helping you getting an X back. You need to delete that from your hard drive completely. The way to decide that you get to manifest an X back in 24 hours or less is to first and foremost call your power back. That's what they say in the law of attraction community, right? Call your power back. Well, I'm going to teach you what call your power back means in the law of assumption community so you can actually get from point A to point B. Calling your power back looks like I decide how my life goes for me. I decide I'm worthy and deserving of it all. I decide that I am a caring, kind, loving, honest, loyal, committed, devoted person, and I deserve to be able to share my love with the person that I desire the most. I'm also going to decide that this is going to work out for me. It works out for other people. Why can't it be me? Why am I imposing a limitation on myself? Why am I saying that he's going to continue to hang on to that fight, or he's going to continue to hang on to this piece of the argument? I can literally assume the best case scenario because I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Especially knowing that my dominant assumptions create my reality. So I need to start to dominantly assume in a more favorable state to get a more favorable outcome than where I am right now, because where I am right now is the literal definition of a poor dominant assumption, which is leading me to this poor dominant reality. So why would it not work in the reverse? If you want to decide that I actually feel like this relationship is something that's really profound, and I'm going to sit here and decide his thoughts and his feelings, or her thoughts and her feelings for her, and decide that I am that important and special of a person, and that I offer a love that's really deep and caring and fulfilling, and that it's actually a privilege for them to also receive my love, in what way are you a bad person? I'm here to tell you, you can literally manifest your ex back or your specific person back as fast as you can get your brain to move in that direction. The quicker you get your brain to move in that direction, the quicker your reality moves in that direction. The quicker your reality moves in that direction, your faith and belief and persistence skyrockets. But a lot of people want or are thinking from a place of he has to have this thing on his own. You get to decide what he's thinking. You get to decide what he's feeling. You get to decide how he's acting. You get to decide how quick this plays out. And you get to decide that you're worthy and deserving of it all, because you actually are. And there are so many living testimonials of millions of people all over the world using law of assumption to have a more pleasant and favorable life, for things to work out in their favor. The only difference between you and them is they made a decision that it cannot and will not fail, and they changed their assumptions to dominantly assume better. Because if I continue to hold into my focus, which what I focus on is what I'm going to dominantly assume to be true, that he's not going to care about me, he's moving on, he's happy with someone else, he's hanging on to that fight, he's never going to come back, well, your reality is perfectly showing that to be true. Further evidence of why you should try to use this in a favorable direction. But if you put that down and you say, you know what? I'm going to choose to look at this differently. I'm going to choose to say that, you know what, the fact that I even have this desire to begin with means there has to be another reality where this person actually reciprocates this for me, because I cannot have a desire that is not meant to be fulfilled somewhere else. So I'm going to start to focus over here. I'm going to start to focus on the fact that I have and offer an amazing love, that I'm worthy and deserving of it all, that I'm deciding how he feels, I'm deciding how he acts, I'm deciding how this situation is going to unfold. And when I decide first, without a matter of doubt in my mind, this reality is going to change so fast, it's going to make your freaking head spin. And remember something. It doesn't matter how many circumstances, how much time, or what has unfolded in your reality. As Neville states, it's going to end up unfolding in the most natural way possible. Your only job is to get your brain there. Once your brain gets there, your reality can catch up. There is no loading time. The loading time is for your brain. So if you want something really, really fast, I encourage you to flip this switch in your brain and don't go back. Break it in that position and say, this is the only possible outcome for this situation. A lot of other individuals want to try to control the how because maybe they don't have an overall belief in the law, or they're trying to be the event coordinator for their own reconciliation. Why are you trying to add more work onto your already filled plate? That's just not necessary. At the end of the day, you don't need to sit here and be like, okay, he has to have the epiphany first, he has to text me second, we have to meet at the coffee shop third. What are you doing to yourself? Just change the assumptions. I promise you, you will end up experiencing a course of events, just like how the first domino gets knocked down, and all the other dominoes will get knocked down, and your person will come back to you in the way that you want. Do it through visualizations, do it through affirmations, doing it through deciding, doing it through embodiment, doing it through whatever helps your brain get there. Your only job is to get your brain there and to begin to feel those anticipatory feelings of, I'm going to play Bill Nye the Science Guy or Persis the Science Girl, and I'm going to see how this works out because this is going to be fun. Another way to look at this is not manipulation, because you're literally sitting here and trying to manifest a person to be able to fulfill their life with love, happiness, commitment, devotion, and respect. And you are not a bad person for that if you want it.